So last year I quit my job at this local pizza place. I won't reveal the name of the place for a number of reasons that are exciting but not at all paranormal. That said, we made excellent pizza. We really did. The Yelp reviews are glowing with praise. It was good enough to bring back loyal customers despite our shitty service. Shitty service that was like 1% my fault. The lion's share of the problem was with the owner. Let's call him Tony. That's an Italian name. Tony works. So this Tony wasn't a very good businessman. In fact, I'm still not entirely sure what his motives were to this day. But he was a good teacher in the fine art of pizza making. I mean, obviously right. He said his father taught him how to make pizza when he was my age, which I highly doubt, as he was actually a Russian immigrant, not actually Italian. I'm just doing the Tony thing for a lark. Side note, my father was Italian, and he did teach me how to make pizza before he passed, but it was nothing to write home about. So the pay at this place was great, not Fortune 500 tier, but about twice as much money as I'd make at any other college part-time job. But, and here's the kicker, every, say, second or third check would bounce. I was working there for the better part of 2 years, so this was an ongoing problem. I remember in January and February where a check didn't bounce vividly. That's how much this happened. But my mother could just barely help put me through college, so I was too chicken shit to quit. Anyway, Tony made all manner of bad hires. There was Jared, who was there before me and was the shift manager when I started, and boy, he hated me from the start, and he always shifted duties onto me. And while he never flirted with female customers, he treated them differently. It's hard to describe, but it wasn't at all subtle, and it didn't make women customers very happy. This problem was paired with Serena, who tried to turn everything into a sexual harassment case. I shit you not. Like, knocking on the women's restroom to see if anyone is in there before you go in and clean it up, that's sexual harassment to her. Big tip, sexual harassment. Complimenting her new earring, I could go on. And I don't mean to sound mean, but she wasn't anything worth sexually harassing. I ain't saying anything, I'm just saying. But my efforts of keeping my head down worked well, I guess, as I got promoted to shift manager. I showed up one day 20 minutes early before my shift, and the place wasn't open. It was like 2:40 in the afternoon, so I called up my boss and he drove down, and he arrived right as Jared arrived. So having the strange motives that he had, Tony demoted Jared and promoted me without consulting me. I had 18.5 credit hours when this happened, but it was a $3 raise and my philosophy class didn't really count if we're being honest. Now I don't know what kind of jizz stain demotes someone rather than out and out fires them, but that's the kind of person Tony was. He tried to act like a father to us, but none of us felt that way. And Serena acted like it was sexual harassment. One day, I go downstairs to get some flour, right? Boom! Giant table of flour right out in the open. Good, right? No, not at all good. It's all China white. Not packaged or anything, just a Scarface-sized pile of cocaine right there in front of God and everyone to see. Not flour, we're a pizza place. What possible use could we have for flour, right? But hey, none of my business. Now, Fourth Friday, during the Irish Pride Parade, is coming up. This is a giant deal. We make most of our money now, and I had work this day the previous year when I was still green. Now, I ain't no emotionally delicate guy that you see writing poetry out in the quad or something. I broke up 2 knife fights in my life. I sent my former best friend to the hospital in 9th grade. I ran out of a Walmart with a PS2 when I couldn't afford one and got away with it. I was 13, but I was physically shaking when I had to deal with that many customers. But I was prepared now. But come day of, Tony says he's loading the oven with wood. That's a strange order. I'm thinking, you're the owner. You should be out there working the cash register and shaking hands. I'm the cook. I should be adding wood to the fire. If you Google brick pizza oven, it won't do this sweet-ass large old oven justice. It was the cornerstone of the business. It was comically oversized, too. So Tony loaded the thing up, and it would just not get hot enough. So I go bitch to him about it, and he's like, you're the cook. Load up the fire pit. And I'm like, you told me fucking not to. So I did. Still won't get hot enough. And the pizza's coming out smelling weird. Then I realized, no, it's not just the pizza, the oven is smelling weird. On the busiest day of the year, no less. Now, I'm like, what the fuck? So I throw a bucket of water down into the fire. And there it was, a lightly roasted human in a charred business suit. I feel bad for the guy, I really do. But he got himself tied up in that mess. Shit, $5,000 says I'm not telling you the name of this joint. That was enough money for me to quit.